Thanks for dropping into this week's edition of Michigan Chronicle News Now. I'm digital anchor Andre Ash. Time to get a check of some of the top stories working on our website this week at michiganchronicle.com. Well, it is time to get that money. According to this story, Michiganders could have funds lying in the wait. Take a look here at this. With the recent impact on money caused by the pandemic, including the rising cost of gas and food, as well as life expenses, we could all use a little bit of economic relief right about now. The Michigan Department of Treasury houses millions of dollars in uncashed checks, stock certificates, as well as forgotten bank accounts. And those who suspect funds or assets may be in possession of the state are encouraged to reach out to the Unclaimed Property Division within the Department of Treasury. Well, the Michigan Chronicle is discussing the Detroit Public Schools Community District's investment into all of the schools across the city. Take a look here at this story. $700 million in renovations are expected, and this will be a part of a two-part series with the Michigan Chronicle. In our first installment, we lay the groundwork for the motivation behind the investment, which includes building advancements from the district's viewpoint. And in our second Michigan Chronicle installment, we learn from a student leader what this move means. It's a multi-million-dollar investment by Detroit Public Schools Community District, which will mean new opportunities for a district with aging buildings in a desperate need of a facelift. Well, the Culture Soul Eatery is opening in Detroit. Take a look here at this story. Now, La Culture, which opened by Detroit native Drew Matthews Jr., is welcoming a new restaurant to that fold. He's continuing the rich tradition of not only the culture and legacy of Detroit, but also the role soul food plays in the Black community. The self-taught chef has launched Culture Soul Southern Eatery, which he plans to dish out even more great flavors while continuing to build an empire of more than just good eats. The pandemic forced many businesses and their owners to pivot and adapt to a new world fostered by social distancing measures, and he did as well. We love to see it. You're watching News Now. We're back in a moment.
What's up, y'all? My name is Janae, and I was a 2016 SWAG awardee. I interned with the bank, and I am now a full-time employee at Huntington Bank. Now, the Michigan Chronicle and Huntington Bank's 7th annual SWAG Awards are back. Now, there is a lot of cash for you all to access. 15 scholarships ranging from $2,500 to $25,000, and I'm here to give you some tips. Now look, I got 3 tips for you all. Tip number 1, you wanna make sure you write a compelling essay. You may be thinking, how do you do this, right? Now you do this by telling your unique story about what makes you you and how you are a leader. Now, number 2, you want to make sure you get a recommendation letter from a high school coach, teacher, counselor, basically anyone that really knows you well and can tell us about how great you are as a person. Now, number 3, you want to make sure you get your transcripts in before the deadline. And this year, the SWAG Awards are allowing you to have a video recording. Now, this will allow us to see your beautiful face and, of course, get to know you a little bit better, but it is not required. Now, the deadline for the application is April 1st, so do not be late. Now, you can access the scholarship at michiganchronicle.com/SWAG Awards. Y'all, let's get this money.
All right, welcome back to Michigan Chronicle News Now. And again, if you're a high school student who wants to be a part of our SWAG Awards, make sure that you do apply before the deadline, and that is April 1st. And of course, no April Fool's joke there. Well, to our next story, Charles Pugh returning to public life after spending 5.5 years in a Michigan prison. The former TV reporter was convicted in 2016 on 2 felony counts of third-degree criminal sexual conduct of a child. I got a chance to talk with him and get his take as he's now ready to speak out. Take a look.
It's embarrassing to have a public misstep, and when you know that you're letting down a lot of people.
Charles Pugh is returning to public life after spending 5.5 years in a Michigan prison. The former WJBK TV reporter was convicted in 2016 on 2 felony counts of third-degree criminal sexual conduct with a child under 16.
I know that there were a lot of people who believed in me and prayed for me and loved me and supported me, So I owe it to the community to talk about the anatomy of growth and learning from your mistakes.
The TV news personality entered into politics and was elected as Detroit City Council president in 2009. He became mysteriously absent from his elected position and ultimately fled the city amid allegations of inappropriate relations with another young man whom he first mentored when he was a teen in high school. He says his wrongdoings are a lesson learned and had a lot of time behind prison bars to examine his choices.
When you fall, you don't have to stay down. You get back up, you dust yourself off, you learn why you stumbled in the first place, and then you move forward as a better, stronger person and share your mistakes with people.
Pugh said he is ready to talk about his shortcomings to help others while also moving forward with his life.
For me, I believe in restorative justice. I believe when people commit crimes, or even if they don't necessarily commit a crime but do something wrong, that they should be allowed to correct that mistake and to come back to the community and get a job, start a business, reintegrate, find either a church home. Focus your life on correct principles.
Pugh says correcting his life's direction is what will be his focus now. Released from prison late last year, he is currently serving a 2-year parole, must wear a tether for 6 months, and is now on the Michigan Sex Offender Registry.
It's important to me to reestablish myself in the community that I love and to show that all of us, even when you do wrong, you serve time perhaps, you should be allowed to come back. Come back, reestablish yourself, and move forward together as a community, because nobody's worth throwing away, not one person.
From drug dealers to men with anger management and mental health issues, during his time in prison, Pugh talked about getting to know the personal stories of his fellow inmates, their dreams, skills, and talent. His inspiration to them is what drove him to get through his own ordeal.
I took on the role not as a victim because I was in prison. No, I flipped it. I took on the role as a leader because we can be a leader every place we go. And so I learned from them that we all have talents and we all have things that we need to show people that they may not know they have, and to encourage people to do more and be more.
And you can check out more of that story on our website right now at MichiganChronicle.com. Well, Pancakes and Politics season has arrived here at the Michigan Chronicle. Governor Gretchen Whitmer was our keynote guest. Take a look.
Pancakes and Politics was birthed with the premise that we have more things in common than we do apart. So each spring, folks from Wayne, Oakland, Genesee, Washtenaw, the entire region, we come down here to talk about issues that we feel are important to our region.
This is where you want to be if you want to be in a thoughtful, good conversation about all the things that are important to Southeast Michigan.
As Hiram said, what unites us is a lot stronger and more powerful than what divides us, although it's hard to see the difference sometimes in this environment. And so I'm honored to be here at Pancakes and Politics today to talk a little bit about my economic vision for our state and how we can continue getting things done for that really make a real difference in people's lives right now.
You know, my biggest takeaway was hearing from the governor relative to specifics to help the state of Michigan and Southeast Michigan in particular, and I think the fellowship in the room proves that everyone's committed to that.
And the conversations that we had this morning, we talked about education, we talked about taxes, we talked about the roads, we talked about equity in a deep way. Those are the conversations that we need to tee up with forums like this.
And I think that's one of the good things about Pancakes and Politics is that it does present an opportunity for us to communicate and to advocate.
And what's interesting about Pancakes and Politics is that it's a blend of people, real talk, and real issues that need to be addressed. So I appreciated the conversation.
And so this was huge to know that the community, I'm not going to say the community, the neighborhood folks was actually represented today in Pancakes and Politics. So I'm thankful and grateful for that.
And you can watch the broadcast of our Michigan Chronicle Pancakes and Politics right now on our website, michiganchronicle.com/pancakes and politics. And that's all the time for us here. Thanks so much for watching this edition of Michigan Chronicle News Now. We'll see you back here at the same time next week. I'm digital anchor Andre Ash.